Hey guys, Bottom25 here, and today we're here for the third leg of our around the world trip, which is from Hong Kong to Portland, Oregon. I'm flying to Portland because, if you fly to Seattle, that's Boeing territory. So yeah. And LAX, that's kind of a bit further and, extra unnecessary distance. 35,000, just set everything up. Speed 290. But of course, we'll do a high-speed flyover of Hong Kong and Kai Tak and all that. Kai Tak, of course, is the old airport for those of you who aren't familiar with that area, or with the history of this. GPS, that's a warning stuff, shut up. GPS. Enough hold. Yeah, I think we've got everything. So shift P1 and set the anti-skid on. And I think once again we'll have to do a full flap takeoff. So we'll just simply turn on here, and then we'll turn around, fly over the airport, and then fly over Hong Kong before performing the proper... Basically, we will just fly over here, pull up a bit, but not as much as the other times. Hey, we've got a 747 over here. This is a very slow taxi. Or pushback, I should say. This is nighttime, and it's raining, so, ugh. Damn it, Hong Kong, why do you have to rain? No, this should wake people up. Now, if you're not going to be woken by this, then well done, mate. You're going to be you're never going to be disturbed by anything. You may be nicknamed Sleeping Beauty. Yes, I actually had a childhood. Okay. Enough pushback. My aircraft now. I turn. Well, I would turn if this thing would, move. Wait. Let's follow that taxiway. Is this a locked spot, by the way? Yeah, this is a huge aircraft, though. I think, unless you see it in person, you never get a true sense of scale. I mean, the ones operated by Lufthansa, they needed to make special catering vehicles for it to reach the top deck, which are, I believe, 8.4 meters tall, which is very tall. I mean, that's higher than your average house, really, I think. Your average house is like, this would be 2-3 meters, and another 2-3 meters, and another 2, so that would be 6 meters, approximately, if you count the attic. Which I'll just count just for the sake of why not. Yep. Let's perform a flyover of Kai Tak, because that's the old airport, as I said. And we want to give the people of China, because at this point Hong Kong is a part of China. They do not want to be a part of China. Just according to most polls. I'm just, quoting the polls. I'm saying that because, I do get occasional views from China, and I don't want the 50-cent army going after me. For those of you who don't know what that is, I want to Google it, or go on to China Uncensored. Okay, let's go. Spool her up. And actually, first off, we're going to get lined up. And then brake. Keeping an eye on the speed. Yeah, those engines are full power. They are not going to go to any higher power. So then we'll fly over there. And then you simply... Oh. Yep. 100 knots. Because I have no idea what this thing's V1 or V2 speeds are. Oh boy. Well, hopefully the full flaps reduces that. I'm just saying that because we're, edging closer and closer to the end of the runway. And since it's an artificial island, if you overrun, you go into the drink. So why I'm going to do that. Yep. Positive right. Gear up. Shut up, master warning. And also flaps up. Might be a bit too early, but I think we won't actually turn around to fly over. We'll just simply kind of fly by. Quite an aggressive turn. Unless you have to be extremely careful to pull up at just the right amount, Yeah, we're gaining altitude, so that means we can put a bit more welly into this. That's surprising, though, is we're gaining both speed and altitude, even though this is the aircraft's orientation. And I think we literally lost all the lift we had. And we're also going to ascend a bit. I'm going to climb. I'm going to bring this throttle back a bit. Where's Kai Tak, though? I want to fly over Kai Tak. Seriously, though, where is Kai Tak? Or what? That's more of a question of where was Kai Tak. It's no longer operational, of course. Quick check outside, top down. So, no world map. Am I even hit? Yeah, I am. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly in over those mountains and then go down there. So yeah, instead I am going to gun the engines. Yeah, I think that's quite taxable. We'll basically actually perform almost a Kai-Tak approach, without actually landing and just moving in really quickly. So it's actually on this island that there's a giant Buddha statue, which I don't think is in FSX. That it was a Chinese airline. I'm not sure which Chinese airline though, and it nearly crashed into that Buddha statue. Of course, didn't actually crash, because that would be in the news everywhere. However, some hikers hiking up there, they took a photo of the aircraft, and you could clearly see the registration and all. There's Kai Tak, and you can see the little peninsula type thing, the artificial peninsula. Yeah, we're gliding at the moment. The engines are idling. Actually, yeah, I'm going to keep the engines on idle for a while. In fact, I'm actually going to use the spoilers a bit to lose us some speed, because, we're about to break through the cloud layer as we come in over Hong Kong. So yeah, we're doing a trans-Pacific flight in A380, and I honestly am not sure if this is an actual route operated by A380s. Now we gun it. Engines are at full power. We'll perform a flyover of Kai Tak's old runway before we pull up, and off we'll go. Off we'll go to Portland, Oregon. Yeah, that route is definitely not operated. There's no route from Portland to Hong Kong. Yep, that's VHHX. Yeah, which is the ICAO they gave to Kai Tak. Now you can see this will cause some serious structural damage to the aircraft, I think. Kai Tak was also known as the airport where 747s are flown like Cessnas, so don't be surprised by the fact that I'm, doing this. And then I'm also putting a bit of rudder into this. Yeah, we're paying tribute to the old runway here, to the old airport of Kai Tak, before we climb out. And we actually got back on course there. Wow, though. We are climbing very quickly here. Which is why I'm also going to keep an eye on that. That's a near vertical climb. That's almost like, a NASA's zero-G aircraft. Now we level off really quickly. Okay. Auto throttle, speed hold on. Autopilot, everything on. Good. No clue why this thing is descending, which is why I'm going to give it a hand by trimming up. And that this is a lot like a NASA zero-G flight. Set this to 100 knots. Yeah, no, just leave that at 3,000 for now. We are above 10,000 now, so landing lights off. Runway turn off. Seatbelts off, I guess. You know, after that crazy, that's over. So I guess I'll pause the video here now. See you guys once we begin our approach into Portland. See you then. Okay guys, we're beginning our descent into Portland, Oregon. What's going on here? There we go, it's in the maintain flight level 270 at 27,000 feet. We're going to set that target of 3,000, we'll adjust it accordingly. So yeah, almost all our landings are nighttime landings. I'm actually expecting this to be overspeeding a bit. Indeed. Full of spoilers. In real life I don't think they would be able to deploy that much. And you can see Mount Rainier there. I think that's Rainier. Yeah, we just flew over Seattle, so yeah, it could easily be Rainier. If we look back, Seattle's... Well, this is Seattle Tacoma, I presume. I don't see SeaTac International, so... Wait, actually is... Hold on. Yeah, actually no, there's SeaTac. So yeah, that's Seattle there. We should level off shortly. So yeah, the reason we didn't land here is that this is a kind of Boeing territory. I mean, where's SeaTac? There's SeaTac. There's Boeing Field. And there's quite a bit of a rivalry between Airbus and Boeing, as you know. So the A380 was when production... I think as the plans progressed, there were problems. Like I think Boeing sued Airbus. I'm not sure if they sued Airbus, but there was definitely something between Boeing and Airbus. Because Boeing said they were copying something. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh, I never knew you could do that. I'll tell you the truth. Well, it would have probably been useful a bit. It's also known as display range. Yep, leveling out. I'm not going to pull in the spoilers yet because we are probably going to be told to descend further. Probably switch these to the on position. I know the engines are already on, but why not? 14,000. Acknowledge. Descend and maintain 14,000. Oh wait, no, I just pulled those in. Whoops. How far away actually? I'm actually curious, how far away are we from Portland? So let's turn that on. So there's Portland. I assume we're most likely going to get one of these, but we could get 21 or 3. Well, if we get 21 or 3, I just hope we'll be able to stop. Yeah, those are big mountains. have another 11,000 feet of descending to go. Now we're a bit too early to do this, but I'm switching on the landing lights and the seat belts. What's that? Oh, so that's a Grand Caravan. What air traffic is there? There's a 737, I believe SeaTac. A Skyhawk somewhere. A Dash 8. An MD-83. Once again at SeaTac, I think. Not sure though. Grand Caravan, I think that's the one we saw near Rainier. Yep. But we've got a CRJ at Boeing Field. A Bravo in the middle of nowhere. A 737 just over Seattle. There's probably a few more aircraft around that area. Shut up, Master Caution warning. I'm sure we will be told to turn to a heading to get aligned with the runway. Contact Sales Center 124.2. Descending 14,000 feet. Seattle Center, roger. So we're currently at 20,000 and we're descending to 14,000, so it should be another 2 minutes of descending. Why is that going up so slowly? Like, it's not changing anything else, it's just this one-time change when you click it. Almost, all of those are basically almost the same. Oh, that's... Yeah, no, I like this one. This one. I don't know why, I just prefer that to the other options we have. What's our altitude at the moment? Let's speed to 240. Leveling out. Spoilers in. Sudden gain in lift causing the aircraft to ascend. Yeah, that's just your regular run-of-the-mill stuff. You see, this is why I fasten the seatbelt. Oh, we're slowly going to lose speed. Because the next descent phase will be to below 10,000, and you can't officially be moving faster than 250 at 10,000. I thought there's a nav and logo light that I have on. Or the logo light. Well, the tail's still pretty dark. How far out are we? 40 nautical miles apparently, or a bit over. Yeah, approximately 50, I'll say. No message. 42 or 42 nautical miles out from there. Okay, I see. Close that window. Actually, no, I'm just going to get us a bit more speed to get us down quicker. So yeah, rev up that engine. I'm not sure what this mountain is. I know that's Rainier, but could this be St. Helens? Actually, yeah, I think it's St. Helens. Actually, turn left heading 120. Larger signs approach. Heading 120. Hang on. Yeah, I think that's actually Mount St. Helens. If you don't know, that was a volcano that erupted and blew off its side. This here, I think, is it. We're turning towards it, actually. Look at that, yeah, that is St. Helens. You can see the blow up, the way the bit of the side of the crater came off. So that's, I can't figure out which one's Portland. Is that Portland? No, I think that big thing's Portland. And we're turning towards St. Helens. So this is a passenger flight. The passengers will be getting a good view of Mount St. Helens. Just going to make sure the pressure is set correctly. It is not. Now it is though, so... And when you can mess with this, it's fun to just watch the altimeter go crazy in the aircraft trying to follow it. It's having trouble loading the tail. It does that sometimes. I'm just casually flying at 300 knots. Please note, we're actually flying level and the nose is actually slightly dipped. I'm actually flying almost directly over St. Helens. There's Rainier back there. That's also volcanic, I believe. I'm looking. I think that's Spirit Lake. I know there's kind of an observatory or something here. Or what do we call it? I know there is something in this area because there's a mission where you have to kind of rescue people because there's an impending eruption or something, which I have completed. Yeah, I believe that should work. Right, runway 29 right approach. Well, that means we're going to be diverted and we'll have to come in like that. Okay. I'm going to see if I can 28 left. Okay, no. In that case, we can just stick with 28 right. Just to maintain 8,100. That's a really odd number, but you know, it's a strange number for a descent. But okay, you're the ATC. Well, again, it could be Portland could be higher up due to the. Well, you know, Portland is in a mountainous area. Yeah, I wish this thing had in-flight reverser. That would be brilliant for slowing this aircraft down. But there's no in-flight reversers in FSX. And I believe the C-17, I think it is, the Boeing-built cargo aircraft, that isn't the C-5, actually can use in-flight reversers to get on the ground quicker in combat situations. So there's a, you know, so if somebody wants to shoot it down, it's going to take, they've got less time to do it, basically. Okay. Flap retract 140. Turn right heading 150. Let's do that. I wish this had like the airsoft style camera back there, where you can just see outside the cockpit door. Well, maybe if I set speed to 230, maybe then we'll slow down that extra 10 knots. An A380 flying over St. Helens. If this was daytime, that would look quite good. So I'm sorry if you can't see much of the aircraft. That's just the way it is. It's nighttime, so. Right, so this is back to 240. Speed 240. Yep, increase in lift. So well, actually, we're not moving at that high speed. I increased enough because I pulled in the spoilers. Oh, a couple more. There's this WT. Hold on. Air traffic. If you look that way, I think you should. I have to hand off, but I think we should be able to see the Bravo somewhere. Well, not the Bravo, the whatever it is. 299 or 7. What is with these pressure changes? Seriously. Like Portland approach on 124.35. Acknowledge that means we're close. Yeah, I mean, there's Portland, so we're within 30 miles. At least I have the pressure correct. I think we'll have to fly around a bit further before we turn towards Portland. Oh, turn on the runway, turn off. Oh, they're on. Everything is on. Hopefully we can actually stop on this runway. It's a very real chance that there's a very real chance that we won't be able to stop. So if I set flaps 1, will that show up? No, it won't. Don't. You're disappointed. You're disappointed me. Yep, that's Portland. We'll see the city of Portland to our right. What is that? Well, that should be an approach checklist thing, but I can an airport map, maybe it's called. Yeah, how much? 15 degrees. 20 degrees deflection. Just by using the rudder. Let's level the rudder. I don't... Okay, the rudder can actually goes powerful. Alright, 5,700. Alright, sure, acknowledge. Turn right heading 165. Out of 3,000 feet per minute. Turn right heading 195. And what was that sudden shake? That was not me touching the rudder. I did not touch the rudder. That KTTD, that's where we're going. You can see us turning towards it. Quite slowly. Right cabin seat. Well, we can see the cockpit. I can't fiddle with the knobs. Left cabin seat. Seriously, there's nothing here. You can just see the contrail and the lights. I have no idea what this is meant to be, seriously. Now we've leveled off. So we probably put on the spoilers. And watch as the aircraft freaks out as it gets a sudden, quite a bit of lift. I'm very sure we should definitely be told to turn right. Hold on. Do I see the airport? Where is the airport? I've never flown to Portland. I've flown over Portland in a few missions. So I'm not that familiar with the airport. Its location. "25 miles east, turn right heading 255. Descend and maintain 3,000. Acknowledge speed 160. I don't care what the actual price speed is for that thing, I'm playing it safe. Shooting Portland Tower, contact Portland Tower. Inbound for runway 28, right? 2998. Just make sure that's set correctly. And where is that? See, that's a visual approach because that's all I can do on this. But that's kind of confusing, I guess. I still have no clue where I'm landing. If I'd even be able to spell the hospital, that would help. There we go. Zoom in closer. Yep, there's... Alright, that's KTTD and that's where... I'm confused. I thought KTTD was where we were going. Levering. Flaps up. Flaps up. Spoilers in. Flaps down. Gear down. And... seriously, where? Where is this stuff? What the... What's our speed? Oh, we're still moving quite quickly. Doesn't matter, we'll just lose the speed. KPDX. What? P, Portland. Okay, that's the only letter of that makes sense. DX. What's that supposed to mean? It's in the state of Oregon, so even in terms of state, that doesn't make sense. Well, at least my very limited knowledge, I don't think there's anything DX related in Oregon. Seriously, where's the bloody runway? It's very difficult to land an aircraft if you're not sure where you have to land. So if I set it to maybe 275, maybe. That way I'll turn towards it, and that should point me towards the runway, and I'll be able to figure out where. Is that the run? Hold on, no, that can't be the runway. Are you really up? That's not the runway. There we go, we're leveling off. I think so. That should show us where the runway is. I'm even more lost now, I think. But we are flying straight towards it. And I think we're just going to go for heading 260. Yeah, that completely failed its purpose of showing me the runway. I'm genuinely going to look for geographical formations. See, there's that sticky outy bit. Let's drop down. So is that over there somewhere? That is a possibility. Zoom in further, actually. I can, it's not yet necessary, but yeah, I do have the option to do that. Turn on ILS landing system, or ILS instrument landing system. Hey, there's an aircraft there. Not sure what type of aircraft it is, but it is definitely an aircraft. Yeah, it's still outside of the airport. Quite bad, because I have a feeling I should be descending. I really do have this nagging feeling. That's saying you should be descending now. Oh, there's the airport. Right, what runway cleared for 28 right, so we have clearance for that runway. Disable heading select. So I control the heading. The AP controls the alt. It should. You have to be careful. Yeah, there's Troutdale International. It's not. I highlight that. That's international. In all honesty, Portland could potentially be international in real life. I think. Not sure if it is. It probably is. And it's close to the coast, so it could. I think it might be pretty good for transatlantic flights. Autopilot off, altitude off. Oh, we're too high. Yeah, well that's because we only now spotted your bloody runway. Let's deploy the spoilers to get us descending quickly. How are we doing? We are moving quite quickly, a lot more quickly than I think we should be. Like, and we do want to show them that we want to show the customers that the A380 is it's a capable aircraft. Basically, I can land at quite high speeds at short airports and therefore stop in a short distance. Well, I should really be focused on just trying to get this thing lined up. We'll have to fly in over this bridge. Or we could try going under it. No. Like, maybe under that side an A380 could fit, but definitely not under this side. Especially not with the gear down. We're clearing to land runway 38 or 28, right? Not 38, right? That's a different runway altogether. It's a non-existent runway. Well, that's a non-existent runway altogether. How do I think about it? I think the ILS in this is non-functional. This is why we have to do manual landings, not auto land. Blop. Again, I think I should actually stay low to the ground, so that when we land, it will be a lot. I'll be able to slow down a lot quick. Is that Dash 8 flying towards me, or away from me? I'm genuinely not sure. He's at 352. I'm at 600. So, yeah. Did they? Yeah, I think these idiots genuinely got a Dash 8 to take off towards an A380. I think if that doesn't prove that the ATC in FSX at Portland are idiots, then you know nothing will. Or that an ATC in any airport is stupid. Yeah, they definitely took off towards me, because that just flew over me, the Dash 8. I'm actually running the engines at full power just to really prevent a stall from occurring. Yeah, preventing a stall scenario is quite important. You know, it's a wave as we come in. There we go. Gun the engines again. Is that water there? Or is that the lights? I'm confused. Yeah, I think that's the lights. Oh, come on. Yep, spoilers. Bit off center. Do we have the reversers deployed? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And no spoiler-ons, though, it seems, on this aircraft. Which is why we have to do this harsh turn. Acknowledge the ground handoff. Tune Portland ground requests. Actually, no, just forget. I'm just going to park this wherever I wish. I'm actually just going to park right there, just for kind of show off sake. Acknowledge. Not turning on progressive taxi because that's not where I'm parking. Because where I am parking is here. And I'm powered down the engines. So I guess that was a flight. That was the third and second. Wait. Yeah, that was the third and second to last leg in our round the world trip. Be back with the last leg shortly. We're flying from Hong Kong to Portland International. I'm Bot 25. Goodbye.